I can put the music down. I should probably. To be fair, the songs on this game are fire. Yeah, it is new season, new game. I am back, I think, somewhat. Yeah, back to D1, I guess. After the week with Precision, Phoenix, and all those different leagues, and after a shitty game that was F124, we are now on F125. Some same old drivers, some returning, for example Window returning, Criplax, I feel like he's returned, but there are some old same drivers: Brothers, Marco, Shaz, Dragon, Hudson, Steps, Ruggy, the two Thomas Lee brothers. I'm assuming this is Oli X, the same Oli X. Jake, McCluskey, Pimeralda. But then there are some new ones like Z1. For me, new Josh the Bear, although he has been in the league for some time, but for me new. Tata Renner, I guess, but he was the final time. The last time that he was, at least. But the first time that I saw him was at the finale, so. And then Mystic, completely new to me. But yeah. We're starting off with an absolute banger of a track, even though I'm a bit shit at it. It is still a banger of a track, which is Imola. A track that, unfortunately for, this is going to be the last game, officially, that we're going to see it in an official calendar for at least some time now, that USA has such a big influence on F1 with 3 fucking races, with F1 being in there. By the way, I just wanna say that I woke up like 1.5 hours ago, and I don't fucking know, my fucking nose is a bit full and all that. So don't be surprised if you hear me like sounding a bit shit. Just ignore that, okay? And yeah, so I guess the lineup then, because that's what it is, the new season. So for McLaren, we should have Shaz and Pimeralda. And yes, we do have them both. For Ferrari, Marco and Hasho. Well, he's not in here. Instead of him, there's McCluskey, Red Bull, Ruggy, and Frygate. Another driver who I don't know, but I'm assuming. Well, that's not Frygate. There's no Frygate in the session. There's Sander Thomasley, Mercedes, Dragon, and Oli X, and both of them are in. Yes, they are. Aston Martin, Louis Baptiste, who is not in here, and Brothers, who is in here. Instead of Louis, we have Jake, Williams, Eddie, and Sucharek. I don't think any of them are in here. Instead of them, we have Mystic and Messi. Alpine, Omefufu, and GPLP. Neither of them are in here. yeah, neither of them are in here. So again, we have 2 reserve drivers for one team. V-Carb we have Steps and Brownie Boy. Well, he's not in here either, not that I can see of. No, because that's Window, the team principal of McLaren. Haas we have Hudson and Kriplax, which is true. And then Sauber we have Pingu and Niklas. Pingu, Tata Renner. Okay, so we do have both of those 2 as well. So very good amount of reserves for round 1, but the most important thing is that we have a full grid for the start of the season, where we have only 2 drivers out on track, Messi and Josh De Beer. They're gonna start the Q1 with their laps. We have as well as Sauber, that's Renner starting, coming out of the pits. Josh De Beer is going to be starting his lap. Just want to say as well that last season the world champion was Oleg X, wasn't it? Hold on, let me just check the one of his standings because I already forgot. Yeah, it was Oleg X. So let's see, can he defend the title in the Mercedes? Last season he was at Aston Martin. This season he is in Mercedes. And Mercedes, this game, are very good. So if he continues how good he was on F1 24, he can get the title this season as well. Although it's not going to be that easy, with Rogge being in the Red Bull, Marco in the Ferrari again. Although the Ferrari is a bit worse this season, but it's still good. And then of course McLaren, Pimeralda, and Chas. Mainly Pimeralda, they're gonna be breathing his neck. So yeah, Josh, P1 for now, of course, as he is the only one who has made a lap. 1:17.387. From my memory, it's not particularly great, but first banker lap, it's fine. Tata Renner, wide, disastrous. Tamburello, to say the least. Villeneuve a bit better, at least not running wide or anything, not riding a curb and then almost losing it on the exit. Into the Piratella, wide of the apex, into Aqua Minerale. These just lost the rear a bit, lost a bit of time on the exit. Into Variante Alta, 52.470. You can really just cut these, especially on this game. That curbs on this game are almost non-existent most of the circuits. And then into the first Ribazza, and then into the second Ribazza. I think it's just one. Those 2 corners are just called Ribazza. And then the Renner come across the line, and that's P2, 1:18.103. There's definitely time on the board, especially into these 3 corners. So yeah. Mystic goes P1 now, 1:16.981 by the Williams. Behind Chaz starts his first flying lap, so that's the first car from the top 4 that is starting a competitive lap. In front of him he has a Haas that is giving him a bit of dirty air, but it's fine for now. Steps goes P1 now, 16.257 on the mediums. Probably I should have the tie graph on, since, well, Steps on the mediums. That's probably one of the reasons why I should have it on. I think it was a 24-1. The first sector, I've completely missed it. The first sector into Aqua Minerale, beautiful line, absolute beauty. And then Variante Alta, yellows in here, but that's just the Sauber probably running out of fuel. 50.008. Second sector, I mean, that easily gonna be P1, unless he invalidates, or unless he's gonna get held up by a Sauber in front. But through the Ravatzes, nice and clean, no invalidations, coming across the line, 1:15.057, 1.2 seconds faster than Steps. Of course, Steps on the mediums as well, but still a good time by Shaz. Then Marco is finishing his lap. Ruggy through the second sector, but let's see Marco, because he's gonna be finishing his lap. Through the second sector, he was almost half a second up on Shaz, and he is over half a second, 5.5 tenths faster than Shaz, showing who is the master in qualifying, although it is only Q1, but suits the sort of stereotype, I guess. I don't know. Ruggy goes P2, 1:14.975. Still those 4 tenths, half a second even, behind Marco, but again, it's Q1. It is what it is. Kriplax on a lap as well. Through going into Variante Alta now, second sector 50.332. Good second sector, considering that he is in a Haas, and there was a spun, well, McLaren. Was that Pimerado? No, that wasn't. That was Shaz who was spun through Variante Alta for whatever reason. Thankfully, he was ghosted, because then Kriplax would have absolutely floundered into the side of Shaz. Kriplax crossing the line, 1:15.961. Good lap by Kriplax in the Haas. Anyone else? There are drivers definitely on laps. Pimerada is on a lap through the first sector, 23.950 for Pimerada. Brothers as well on a lap. Yesterday, bit of an oversteer. Yesterday he said to me that the game is so bad on controller, 50.060 through the second sector. So let's see how he will do in this race. Second sector Pimerada, 49.608. He could be going on for P1, because Marco was setting a similar second sector. Maybe Marco was faster, but anyways, it was similar. Brothers coming across the line. Where is he going to go? P4, 1:15.610. Let's go back to Pimerada, who is just finishing his lap. Is that going to be P1 for the McLaren? No, it isn't. 1/10 back from Marco, 14.589 for the Spaniard. And Window is going to be finishing his lap. Yes, he will be. It's not a great lap, but it is P10, 1:17.655. In the meantime, as well, I completely missed that Josh De Beer has improved his time, 16.5. There are definitely drivers ending their lap times. There is Sander going P9, 16.725. Dragon going P7, 16.202. 020, sorry. Then who's then? Well, Hudson has invalidated. Messi is on a lap. Z1 is on a lap. Jake seems to be the further one to be on a lap from the 4. Jake through the Ravatzes now. Bit wide on the second one. And then just run up to the finish line. Doors open. 1:16.116. Goes P8. Good lap by the Aston Martin. Then Ollie X, or Messi would be 12:16.852. Ollie X goes P3, 14.692. 2 tenths back from Marco, but in Q1 these top teams don't really have to push. Just do a lap, and you should be good to go. There's still Z1 yet to do a lap as he invalidates through Variante Alta. McCluskey still yet to do a lap. 23.600 through the first sector. And Pimerado did a 23.9 if I remember right through the first sector. Jesus. Okay, let's see what McCluskey will do on the second sector, because I have a rough estimation what the second sector for others look like. Yeah, he's going for P1. Ferrari are going for P1 and 2, at least in Q1. McCluskey 49.2. He's pushing. He's pushing like it will be Q3, but it's only Q1. Or he might just have some Max Verstappen level type pace, or Charles Leclerc level type pace in qualifying, at least for now. 14.210, new fastest lap made by McCluskey. Ferrari 1-2 in Q1. Always good to see. Well, it depends if you're a Ferrari fan. If you're a Ferrari fan like me, it is always good to see Ferraris on the top, especially in their home country. In the meantime, Z1 is still yet to do a lap. Oh, Jesus. And he's invalidated again. Niklas went 14th, 16.629. And then Hudson as well, P9, 16.001, while I was watching McCluskey. Steps is not on a lap. Renner not on a lap. C1 not on a lap. I mean, technically now everyone should be on the softs. I'll just leave it there. No one on a lap, as everyone is either coming into the pits or not. There's Renner still out there trying to do a lap. Dragon coming out of the pits. I'm assuming that's Dragon. I think that's Dragon coming out of the pits. But Renner went wide. Again, a mistake through Tamburello. That's probably not going to be him improving to the first Okay. I mean, to be fair, if you set an 18.1, then even with some sort of mistakes, you can still gain a lot of time on your lap. So, fair enough. Through Aquamin Raleigh. And then let's see what his second sector is going to be. 51 for 1 second up on his time. So far would only move him up to P18 only. So a second up, but only 1 position up. That's a bit depressing. If you would have wanted to go to the top 15, he would need to beat 16.7, which would be 1.4 seconds he would need to beat. And the dude, my guy invalidated just before the finish line on a left. Oh, I mean, he lost time through the second sector anyway, so he would have been P18. But that's just fucking hell. That's just a bit depressing. I don't know why Shaz is out on the circuit. He's easily fine with a 15.0. But I guess he wants to come out of the pits to do another lap, I guess. Maybe if it's used tire, then although to be fair, I can see that it's a used tire because he's on an out lap. Dragon 1.5 tenths up on his time. In front of him he has a Sauber, but he moved out of the way. Second sector 3 tenths faster for Dragon. 3 tenths with a 16.0. That would put him right behind Brothers for now. That would be P8 at the moment. He still has a lot of time to gain, especially that last lap he did that time on the mediums, bit wide on the second Ravazza, and then do not do what Renner did, and Dragon goes P7 15.5 6.0. 4.5 tenths up on his time, but still being almost half a second to the next car in front in the Mercedes. It's not looking good. It's I mean, in terms of position it looks good, but in terms of like where that you should be close at least to Shaz, but he's not. He's half a second back, so Jake starts his lap. Actually, did he? No, 116, 116. I commented it that lap. Steps on a lap. I mean, there are definitely a lot of different drivers out there on laps. As Mystic does his lap, 16.219. Don't know if that will make it into Q2. Sanders on a lap, a 10th down on his time. Z1 is the next one to come across the line. Does he invalidate? Well, I mean, to be fair, now that I look at it, if he beats Renner, that's gonna be good. He doesn't. 4.5 tenths back. Window is starting a lap. Who is next? Josh the Bear has started his lap. Steps. Where does he go? P12. 116, 116. The same exact time as Jake. But Jake is in front because Jake did that lap time first. Jake is not improving even. So that time is probably going to stay, and it is going to stay. Behind there is Sander on a lap. Is he going to improve? He does improve to 14th. But again, there are like 3 drivers behind that are on a lap. And Josh the Bear is improving by 4 tenths. Messi is out of qualifying as he pulls into the pits. And Niklas as well is out of quali as he's made a mistake. Z1, I highly doubted that he's going to improve 18.5 to all of a sudden go 16.5. So, yeah, Sanders should be good. Hudson improves to P9, 15.7. Kriplak's not improving to the first sector, second sector. I don't think he's going to improve. I mean, he does find time, but still at 10th down. Josh the Bear, let's see what lap time he does. A 59.09 goes to P10. So, I mean, everyone is safe that are in the top 15. No one is making a lap. He won and definitely not making a lap anymore. So, yeah, Kriplax did not improve. And, yeah, that's it. Niklas is playing in the sand. Well, in the gravel, really. Steps as well, just coming across the line to make the thing a bit easier. But Niklas is going back into the pits to not make it that quick. But yeah, Messi, Niklas, Window, Renner, and Z1. All of 5 of them are out of qualifying. Sander, Mystic, Steps, Jake, Kriplax, Josh, Hudson, Brothers, Dragon, Ruggy, Shaz, Ollie, X, Pimrada, Marco, and McCluskey are into Q2. And yeah, those are the standings. Yeah. On to Q2, I guess, then. Nothing really to add. Honestly, nothing really to add. I mean, Ferrari 1 and 2. I mean, Ferraris look fast, but again, Marco proved last season that he's still quick in qualities, but then he just cannot do the same pace in the races. McCluskey will see how he will do, because 3 tenths faster than your teammate, 4 tenths to the next different car, or next car that is not a teammate, is mad. But it's only Q1, so some of the drivers were not doing their laps full on push, so let's see what they will do. Q2 has started. Probably don't. I'll keep it for now. And yeah, now for drivers like Dragon, this is gonna be a bit more difficult of a session in terms of like you can't just sit back, relax. You kind of just have to push a bit more on your lap to get into Q2 safely. And yeah, there we go. First car out on circuit. That's Josh the Bear. Again, the first driver to come out of the pits. Then we have a Haas of, that's Hudson? No, that's Criplax. At least some cars out on circuit. We have a V-Carb as well. That is Steps. And yeah, soon more and more drivers are going to be coming out of the pits as the time goes on, of course. Just this waiting time that is a bit boring. But yeah, when the drivers are going to be starting the laps, then it is going to start. Fuck, you know. And yeah, grip positions are somewhat important in this track. It's not that easy to overtake. I mean, besides turn 2, which is the Tamburello, there isn't really another place to overtake. There is Tossa, but you don't really look at Tossa as being the track that's, you know, a corner that's, you would immediately think that that's an easy overtaking place. So yeah, grid positions are somewhat important in here. I mean, as in every other circuit, but just here a bit more. Not the same as Monaco, of course. Nothing beats Monaco in terms of the importance of grid positions. But yeah, Josh, 24.244 to the first sector. He could be as well on a new set. Let's see. I mean, to be fair, he did go like he did have like 3 different runs. He had a 117, a 116, and a 115 lap time. So, just in Q1. So, you know, this could be his used tire set. And let's see how many fresh tires he has left actually in this qualifying. Josh into the Ravazzas, goes wide a bit into the first Ravazza, or on the exit of the first Ravazza, sorry. And now just coming across the line, close with the white line. 16.200 for Josh, of course P1 for now. Definitely time loss through on the exit of the Ravazza. Next car to cross the line is Steps, and he's gonna go P2 16.597. Then is that Dragon, that was Dragon 16.663. Then Hudson is gonna be coming across the line. The Dragon probably used tire set. I mean, most of these drivers are gonna have used tire sets, especially those who are like midfield cars to, like, you know, not really sure will they make it. Hudson P14, 17.649. Well, Criplax P5 with a time that's not really a time that you can say that was a time made around this circuit. Maybe somewhere in Spa if you have a skill issue there. Mystic P5 16.775. Ollie X goes P1 14.732 behind Jake. Was P6, drops down to P7 as Ruggy goes P2 15.113. Jake P7 17.276. Then we have Shas starting his lap, and then we would have Marco finishing his lap 49.675 through the first sector. Second sector, sorry. First sector, yeah. Pimrada's second sector, Jesus Christ. Second sector 49.592. Marco is going to be coming across the line. This could be a fresh tyre set, and it probably is a 14.616 through the finish line for Marco. Sander P6 16.640. Then Mystic is starting another lap, I guess. Pimerada, where does he go? P3 14.806. He lost time through the third sector. He was up on Marco through the second sector, but then through the third sector he lost a lot of time. Shaz 49.394 through the second sector. He's going to be going for P1 here in Q2, definitely, unless he does whatever Pimerada did, or I don't know, does the same as George the Bear did, but he didn't, and he's going to be P1. Yes, he is. 14.497 by Shaz, but still, like, he was 3/10 up on Marco through the second sector, but then through the third sector he lost that 3/10, and now it's down to less than, just over a tenth. But okay, McCluskey on a lap, Mystic definitely not on a lap. I guess that only leaves McCluskey, who is on a lap, the driver who went P1 in Q1, 23.732 through the first sector. The driver who did go P1 in Q1 by 3/10 faster than his teammates. Did a 14.2 in Q1. Now let's see what he can do. Remember McLaren, who he held him up. A bit of a distraction, let's say. Second sector 49.580. A bit slower second sector compared to Shaz. But let's see his third sector. Can he match what Marco did? I don't know what sort of a third sector did Marco do that both Pimerada and Shaz lost like 3/10 compared to him. But McCluskey, can he go P1? No, he can't, but he does go faster than Marco. 14.549 for McCluskey. And I'm assuming that will be a used tyre set as well for McCluskey. That is a very, very good time for McCluskey, being only half a tenth back from Shaz. Very good time. And should be safe into Q2. We are in Q2. Into Q3. Dragon now on a lap, the only one on a lap. So let's go with a full lap on it with him, as long as we need. And yeah, through the Villeneuve chicane, first sector is improving. 4.5 tenths to the first sector. Of course, this time comparison is to his last lap, which isn't really great. 16.6. Like over a second back from the time that he did in Q2. Through the second sector, what's the time gonna be? A 50 dead through the second sector, 9.5 tenths faster than his previous time. So he's gonna be setting somewhat similar time that he set in Q2. Of course, not that really great that he's gonna be setting the same time as 16.6, only a second up at the moment. Would be putting him, well, in a no man's land between Ruggy and Josh the Bear, and he does go into that. Still 3/10 behind Ruggy, who probably that time was on a used set. But P7 15.430 hopefully is gonna be enough. There's still brothers on a lap. Well, has just started a lap. There is that Ruggy's? Yes, Ruggy finishing a lap, and let's see what he can do with the fresh tie set. And he does go P1, 14.474 in the Red Bull. So he should be safe as well. I mean, is gonna be safe. Just saying should be, because never know. Jake goes P8 16.009. There's still steps on the lap. There's still Kriplax on the lap, but that's still not great lap. 21.138. Brothers invalidated his lap, so he might be under a bit of pressure on his final lap, because the time is ticking. 4 minutes 30 seconds, less than that even at this point. So the time is ticking. He needs to do a proper lap time. Well, first of all, he needs to do a valid lap. Second of all, he needs to do a good enough time to go into the top 10, as Marco goes P1 14.461. The top 3 is, well, the top 4 is incredibly close. All 4 drivers, Marco, Rocky, Shaz and McCluskey within a 10th. Of course, McCluskey, I'm assuming that was on a used tyre set. Assuming. In the meantime, Steps went P8 15.816. Kriplax invalidated. And Pimarada was on a lap. I remember him being, but he's pulled out. He's abandoned it. So yeah, no one really on a lap. Marco just set his lap. Pimarada backed out of it, steps into the pits. Mystic is on an out lap. Currently in P12. The gap to P10 is over half a second. 5.5 tenths even over that. So he does really need to find time on his lap in that Williams to try and have a chance to go into the top 10. By the way, Rocky has left the session for whatever reason, maybe disconnection or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, Pimarada, is he on a lap? It looks like that he's on a lap. First sector, 1.5 tenths up on his time, so he is definitely on a lap. At the moment, that would be putting him in front of Ollie X. Let's see what Mystic is doing, because he's the one that's... Well, Pimarada should be safe, but he, for whatever reason, is doing a lap. Mystic is not safe. He's in the chopping block of not making it into Q3. So let's see what the first sector did he produce. 3 tenths faster than his previous time. So that is good, promising first sector by him. Let's see what Pimarada did to the second sector. Still that 1.5 tenths up on his time. So I don't think he would be still in front of Ollie X, but still behind McCluskey. Let's see what he can then do as he crosses the line, and he goes P1 14.278. There was a big mistake through the third sector, as you saw, just gained 4 tenths out of thin air. Yeah, P1 for Pimarada, 14.278, 2 tenths faster than Marco. Beautiful. Mystic, 6.5 tenths faster through the second sector. Can he find a bit more time to the third sector? He did find a lot of time to the third sector. 15.832 by Mystic. Only P9 though. So it is going to be very, very close with the other drivers. Josh has invalidated, but still has time and fuel to do another lap. Sander at 10th up on his time, but he needs to find a lot more time than just a 10th. Hudson has started his lap. Kriplax has started his lap. Brothers for first sector, 24.195. I mean, what I've seen from like drivers like Pimarada, Rogge and Shaz, not particularly great. But of course, since he's in an Aston Martin that this year on this game is not particularly great, might be enough. 50.361 through the second sector. Let's see if that's gonna be enough. Sander, 50.253, 4 tenths up on his time, so he still needs to find time through the third sector. Could he somehow find the time to go up into the top 10? Yes, he does find the time. 15.837, 5,000 behind Mystic. Brothers finds the time as well. 15.792, pushes Sander back down to the bottom 15. Mystic just about hangs on there. Ollie X, fastest time, 14.076, 2/10 faster than Pimeralda. Jake is still on the lap. Josh is as well on the lap. Hudson goes P9, 15.796, 2,000 behind Brothers. Then Kriplax stays in 15th. Absolute disastrous qualifying Q2 for him. Jake goes P8, 15.645, pushes steps down. Josh the Bear, at the moment, not improving anything. And probably won't improve. No, he won't. He didn't improve, stays 14th. And so it is Josh the Bear out of qualifying. Kriplax as well out of qualifying. Steps, Mystic, and Sander out of qualifying. Hudson qualifying into Q3 by just 200ths of a second. Brothers P9 with 57. Jake easily into Q3, 15.6, a great lap by him. And then the rest, I mean, Dragon is standing out a bit from McCluskey to Dragon. Hello, Olaf. Hello, Olaf. And yeah, and then the top 6 is very, very close. Up until then, Ollie X decided to absolutely obliterate Pimeralda's time. But again, McCluskey did only one lap, and probably that was on a used set. Ollie X as well did that first lap on a used set. Yeah, I kind of guessed that. Yeah, probably had no new softs. To be honest, I could think about commentating Prestige if there's no one else to commentate that, because there's the main reason why I couldn't do Prestige earlier on, because I was doing like a league in Assetto Corsa, but that league is just I'm just gonna say that I'm getting a bit sick of it by how the fucking league is run, so I might as well come back to Prestige, because it as well suits me a bit better. Although to be fair, next week I won't be able to do it, but this week I'll be able to do it. If there is space, of course. If there is space. If there isn't, then fine. It is what it is, but if there's space to commentate, hey, I'll happily take it. Yeah, the chicanes are very difficult. I mean, they aren't as difficult on this game as they were in previous games with the previous scan. With this new scan, lighter scan, it's a lot easier. I mean, it depends if it's only Variant Alta, because Variant Alta is pretty much stayed the same. Yeah, the chicanes feel a lot smoother. You can really cut them chicanes a lot more. With the, like, there aren't sausage curves on the apexes. Yeah, the tire wear as well on this game is very difficult. There are some two stoppers as well, which is mad. Well, I'll say this, that Bahrain is a one-stopper. Bahrain is a one-stopper, but it's really close with tire wear. If you're shit with tire wear on this game, you're gonna struggle on Bahrain, because it is a one-stopper, but it is a one-stopper, but you need to save your tires. Let's just say that for Bahrain. When is even Bahrain? Or is there even Bahrain? I didn't even look at the calendar that much. Oh, it's round 4. Okay. So yeah. Okay, back to actually yapping about about what is happening here, as Marco is the first one to start his first Q3 lap, and of course these Q3 laps are going to be absolutely electric in here. First sector 23.729 by Marco. The top teams and the top drivers, pretty much the top 6, what I said: Marco, Ruggie, Ollie X, Pimrada, McCluskey and Shaz are all gonna have 2 fresh sets for this race, for this qualifying. Second sector by Marco, 49.388 through the second sector, so he is, well, of course, pushing, and with a new tyre set, of course. Ollie X as well, 23.703 through the first sector, so a good first sector for him as well. I just want to see, I probably won't be able to make it back to Marco. Second sector 49.446. Marco goes, of course, provisional pole position, 14.167 by the Ferrari. Doesn't beat what Ollie X did in Q3, Q2, but it is a good lap nonetheless. Shaz starts his lap, then Ollie X goes P2, 14.232. Ruggie got a bit of that slipstream for the start of the lap. Brothers P3, 16.180. Used tires, of course. Again, I'm assuming. Hudson, a lap. 1:23.212. Then McCluskey coming across time, 49.133 through the second sector, and McCluskey goes fastest, beats the 14 barrier and goes into 1:13s, 1:13.816 by McCluskey. 3.5 tenths faster than Marco. Pimrada P4, 14.386. There's still Shaz on a lap, there's still Ruggie on a lap, but what I can maybe sense, I don't think either of them can beat the lap that McCluskey just did here in Imola. Shaz, I'm across the line, fifth, 1:14.387, 1,000 of a second behind his teammates, and Ruggie goes P4, 14.345 by Ruggie. But what a lap by McCluskey, what a first lap by the Ferrari. By the Ferrari reserve is in it. Because McCluskey is not even in the full lineups for Ferrari. He's a team principal for Ferrari. So in a way he's in the lineup, in a way. But not that he would be driving, but he's absolutely rapid here in Imola. Jake, in the meantime, is on a lap. Hudson as well was on a lap, did a 1:16.747, so still stayed in P8. Jake, one and only flying lap on the fresh tyre set. That exit didn't really look that good, but let's see what the other laps or turns, sectors are gonna be for him through Aqua Minerali. Definitely Ollie X can go faster, but it's the question, can he go as fast as McCluskey did? That's gonna be the question, because Lassie beat everyone out of the park so far. He beat Ollie X's time by 2.5 tenths. What Ollie X did in Q2, so absolute mad. Jake goes P7, 15.762. Good time. But of course there are levels to this shit between. I can't jump from. Okay, now it has fixed itself. But yeah, there are levels to this shit. 1.4 seconds between Shaz and Jake. Yeah, of course the the car makes a difference as well, but then of course the, I guess, quality of the drivers makes all the difference. Yeah, 4 minutes to go to this qualifying ending. So far, a Ferrari 1-2, a dream start to the season so far would be, because of course, I mean, the season opener in Imola is great for Ferrari, but then the fact that they're 1-2 currently shows that they can fight. They can fight. It's just a question: can Marco beat? I mean, Marco being a full-time driver, one, he has to think about like his quali pace, but then his race pace, more on the race pace, because his race pace last year, well, last season, last game, I should say, is, I mean, I'm not saying that he's slow, like he's, I don't know, Nikita Mazepin slow, but just comparing his quali pace, what he was setting, his quali pace, what his quali pace is compared to the others, and then his race pace compared to the others, is lacking. Like it always has been through all the different F1 games. New game, of course, so new opportunities, of course. But yeah, like, let's see what Marco can do in the race today. Hopefully, he's improved his race pace, but let's see, honestly. Let's see. It's gonna be a bit of a mystery what he can do. I mean, for everyone, a bit of a mystery in terms of race pace, because for most of these drivers, it's the first league race that they are doing in here, or for most, some, let's just say. For some, it is the first league race that they are doing on this game, unless there was a preseason. Then it's not. But you get the point. Not much experience in this game. Dragon through the Tamburello chicane beautifully and smooth into then Villeneuve chicane. Beautifully as well through here. First sector 23.976. So probably just overall he would need to push a bit more throughout the lap. Pimerado as well on a lap. No, I lied. Now into Ockerman Raleigh with Dragon. Good through here. Could cut a bit more through on the apex. But anyways, second sector 49.834. Good third sector to his standards. I'm saying this. I mean, of course, this is gonna be a far from like McCluskey and even like Shaz lap time, but still, it's should be good enough for P7, as he's gonna come across the line, and P7 14.949. Shaz in the meantime on lap, same with Marco, but I'm just picking up Shaz. 1.5 tenths up on his time, 23.576. Very good first sector. Marco, he's up by almost 3 tenths, but he still needs to find a bit more time. He still needs to find 700 to even think of getting a pole position here in Imola. OliX has invalidated, so he's stuck with a 14.2. He won't be able to improve that time. Marco, does he go P1? No, he doesn't. Loses time through the third sector, and it's a 13.944 for Marco. Stays second, of course. Rocky has started the lap. Pimerado started the lap. Shaz lost a bit of time through the second sector. He's only a 10th up on his time through the second sector. Third sector, can he find a bit more time to go P3? He can go P3. 14.207 for the McLaren. Rocky down on his time by a 10th. Pimerado, I do not know what he's doing, but lastly 2.5 tenths for 48.893 through the second sector. This man is gonna go pole by 4 tenths. to the next car and like 7 tenths to the different car other than his teammates. Okay, Lassie did lose a bit of time to the third sector, but it's a 13.639 for McCluskey. Primrada goes P2 13.915, so he doesn't go 4 tenths faster than the next car, but still beautiful lap by McCluskey. And that is it. Jake is still finishing a lap. Is he gonna go faster than Hudson? Yes, he does. P8 15.582. Hudson P9, Brothers P10. But yeah, McCluskey, what a lap by McCluskey. Almost 3 tenths faster than Primrada. Even if he didn't improve that time, the first time that he did, he would have still grabbed pole by a tenth. Primrada P2, Marco P3, so unfortunately Ferraris couldn't get a 1-2 here in Imola. That would of course been a dream, but sometimes dreams do not come true. Shaz 4th, Ollie X 5th, did not, he invalidated through the first, in the first sector, and Roggy backed out of his lap. And so, yeah, Lassie on Ferrari's home soil is on pole position. I'm probably not gonna get the fucking results. No. Yeah, I'm not getting the results, of course. Beautiful game. Okay, so I guess if we can't get those, then I guess let's talk about the strategy, shall we? So, the race strategy, it seems like it is hard, medium, medium, hards. So one stop. Pit stop time loss is about 27 seconds. Ideal. Okay, it's not. Okay, so we are throwing away the race strategy completely because we don't need it. we do not need it because it's raining. So, well, let's see what the drivers will do then in the. I mean, okay. It is raining. It is raining quite heavily, so it could be even wet for some. There should be a formation lap as always. Yeah, it is very, very much raining. And let's see. I think those are inters probably for most drivers, but for some they are going for wets. Dragon Brothers and the bottom three of Window, Renner and Z1 have gone for the wets. The rest are going for the inters as McCluskey takes less of an ideal line through Tamburello, testing the limits of the car, of course, but it is raining. It could be that those wets are going to be rapid in the first laps, but then as the race goes on, it is gonna dry a bit more, dry more on the racing line, and in the end it could be for the wets, inters, but for now it looks like it is very much for the wets. The drivers who have went for the inters are risking a bit here. Jake has been disqualified as well, including Window and Renner. For I don't know why Jake. Window and Renner probably just contact, but Jake, it's weird. Ah, looks like. Yeah, I woke up 2.5 hours ago. Okay, I'm not an early dog. I'm not someone who likes to wake up or has a shit ton of energy on the when I wake up. Okay. Drivers are lining up for the grid slots. They'll miss their slots or not, but yeah, McCluskey of course has angled himself in a way that he can just go straight. Same with Pimeralda, Marco shas a bit, but then rest just goes straight, steps a bit to the side. But anyways, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and the lights out. Now, and I go here in the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Those lights were for very long. Pimeralda, does he get a good start? Does McCluskey get a good start? They both got equally the same start. Pimeralda is going to have the inside and looks for a send, but backs out of it last second. Pimeralda still keeps second. Behind is everything alright? It seems like everything is alright. In terms of no big crashes or anything, everyone is of course being very, very cautious. As for a lot of these drivers, it is the first time that they're driving in the wets in these conditions, or in this game, I should say. Brothers already gained up 2 positions. Yellow's behind that window spun on the just before Tossa. Z1 as well off the circuit. But yeah, those wets seems to be better. They just have lots more grip, but for now, Dragon just cannot get through. Brothers overtakes Dragon into the Aqua Minerale, and he does it beautifully. Brothers with those wets, beautiful start to up to P7 from P10. Trying, he's looking for a gap to go for a scent on Ruggy. Of course, those wets are going better for now, so they need to use those to their advantage. Of course, no DRS will be enabled with this rain, so they just need to overtake them by just pure ERS. Bit of push to pass by Brothers, and he does get Ruggy on the main straight, but Ruggy will definitely try and get the position back. Same with Dragon, is gonna try to overtake Ruggy, but so far no space seems to be to overtake. Behind, everything is fine for now as well. Let's just keep our heads forwards to the front of the pack. Olix is close behind Pimeralda, but of course with no DRS it's gonna be a bit hard to overtake. Just slipstreaming and then use the ERS as a car in front, as Window has spun himself on the X of Tamburello. But yeah, it's just gonna be like using your ERS, using your ERS to the car in front, and then just the slipstream, and then just pray for the best. Which, I mean, saving ERS around this circuit in the wet, I mean, pretty much every circuit in the wets is easy to regain ERS. But yeah, let's see if we're gonna get any sort of overtakes. How many overtakes we're gonna see with these conditions. In the meantime, while I was yapping, Rocky has overtaken Brothers, or re-overtaken Brothers, to go up to P6. Brothers is very, very low on ERS, less than 10%, so he will need to try and get that ERS back up as Sander overtakes Steps, and Brothers is trying to overtake Ruggy. Ruggy, I saw the second that I went to look at the cars in front, behind, that he went a bit wide, and Brothers took the advantage, and he's up to P6. Window, the first retirement of this race, and he retires in the pits. Seems that's no points in this race, as I mean, it could have waited at least for like more laps, but I guess not. But Pimerada slightly catching up to McCluskey, but of course the gap is still the 7 to 8 tenths, so far from getting an overtake done on McCluskey. If something, Ollie X could be sniffing about an overtake, but he's getting a bit close to Pimerada on the exit out of the Varatzis. He's 4 tenths, a bit of a wheel spin on the exit, as behind Sander and Steps are still fighting for that P9. Sander now in front. Ollie X is trying, but nothing he can do. Nearly runs into the back of Pimerada. He was catching up with the slipstream, but Pimerada using as well ERS. ERS so easy to just gain back. It's really easy. Yeah, the wets are faster right now, as you can see that Brothers is up to P6. But as the race will go on, then the dry line is going to be building up, is going to appear, and then the inters are going to be the tire to be. So at the moment, the inter runners are just surviving this first patch of laps. Then when the dry line is going to be appearing more and more, then it's going to be very easy for them. Well, way easier for them. And then for the wets, they just need to capitalize on these wets, which Brothers has capitalized perfectly. Starting from P10 is up to P6. Dragon not so much, as Brothers and Ruggy go side by side into the Ravatzis. Brothers goes a bit wide. Ruggy has the run on the inside of the second Ravatza, and Ruggy is in front. Now let's see what the ERS uses of them will be. Both of them using all of their ERS. Brothers has a bit more though, so he could kind of use a bit more of his ERS to try and catch up and overtake Ruggy, but he doesn't do that. And so for now, Ruggy is in front. Brothers doesn't get a good enough exit to go for a run. In the meantime, behind, Messi got overtaken by Kriplax, and Josh the Bear has overtaken Renner. So those are the two position changes. I think the try line is slowly appearing. Pimerada had a wheel on the grass, so Ollie X is right behind him. But of course, in this section of the circuit, not really that you can overtake unless a massive send into Variant Alta would have done it. It's a bit of a hit from Ollie X into the back of Pimerada. The gap grows to 4 tenths. Behind Kriplax and Hudson switch positions. Just teammates probably switching positions, like I said, so nothing really too crazy. Ollie X 4 tenths. Pimerada using ERS. Ollie X using ERS. So Pimerada is gonna keep the P2 probably. Still using the ERS. Ollie X did already turn it off. Ruggy new fast lap 29.1, so the track is improving, and already the gap is from Ruggy to Brothers 2 seconds, and Sander has already overtaken Dragon. So in this time, the wets are worse, and the inters are far better than the wets. So Steps is gonna try to go for an overtake soon on Dragon. Somewhere around here, maybe better exits of Tossa uptail into Piratella. No, he doesn't. So he's just gonna have to wait and pick his time. But yeah, the Brothers is at the moment losing more than a second per lap. It seems like it's on Ruggy. Renner as well, 4 seconds back from Josh the Bear. So yeah, Sander going down inside into Varianta. Brothers left just about enough space, but Sander gets a way better exit from Varianta Alta, and into the Ravatzes. Sander is going to be on the inside. Brothers tries to late break around the outside, but Sander's still on the inside. There's a bit of contact, I believe there was. But Brothers still manages to keep his P7 alive. Now let's see. Can Sander maybe outrun Brothers on the straight? He's going... He hits him. He tried to go around the outside, but that didn't work. Steps goes a bit wide on the entry of the Tamburello. And Steps almost could have lost the position to Dragon. But beautiful defensive work by Steps to not allow Dragon to go anywhere. Brothers is defending a lot from Sander, but Sander could go around the outside. Brothers leaves him just enough space around the outside, and Sander now on the inside. A bit of wheel banging, a bit of wheel locking from Brothers, and Brothers seems to be still in front of Sander. Sander just cannot get in front of Brothers. I mean, Brothers a bit of wheel locking. It is what it is. Sander, is he gonna go again down inside into Variantata? He does. He is there. But now he's gonna try to go for a switchback, and a beautiful switchback by Sander on the exit of Variantata. Beautiful move by the Red Bull. But now Brothers is gonna think about going down inside. But Sander defends the inside, goes around the outside. And Sander should be in front. Yes, there's a bit of contact between Brothers and Steps, I believe. But now, Brothers, does he have the yards to attack or defend? No, he doesn't have really for defense from Steps. And Brothers is a bit stuck behind Sander now. Steps overtakes both. Both Sander and Brothers, they're still making contact. Brothers and Sanders. And Brothers... I think I got a bit of force into the curb, but anyways, Brothers unfortunately got overtaken by Sander, and with Jake right behind him, he decided to let him go, as well. He's on a way better tire now, as there is a clear and a dry line, so those wets were never gonna work in these conditions. And as well, I think rain has eased off a bit. So yeah, Brothers and Dragon now are just gonna fall down the order. Well, now only down to P12 and 11, since Criplax is right behind them. Hudson is 5 seconds back. So honestly, with the time loss that they had, they could honestly just drop more and more. So let's see. Criplax is gonna try to go around the other side of Dragon into the Ravatzes. And yeah, easy overtake by Criplax to go in front of Dragon. Dragon never fought that. And now with Criplax having way more ERS than Brothers, Criplax can go just outrun Brothers with the ERS. And Criplax up into P10 into the point scoring positions. And so... yeah, then just for these wet runners to, I don't know, survive this. I don't know. I don't know if the track is drying enough, or is the weather gonna be drying for the dries. So I don't know. Are they gonna try and stay out for the dries, or will they try and go for the inters and then for the dries? Z1 has gone for the dries already, even though it is raining. The track is still wet. Very interesting by the Alpine. I mean, the French like to do some weird ass shit, so let's see. I cannot get the fucking camera to him. But let's see how hard it is gonna be to drive. You can just hear the traction control. You can just hear the traction control activating all the time. So yeah, it is raining. It's terrible idea by the Alpine to go already into the dries, as it is still raining. I mean, you can just see the gap from Tata to Z1, and that thing is going to be increasing corner after corner, really. I mean, that thing is gonna be increasing like half a tenth, half a second per corner almost. Yeah, the gap from steps to Rocky is 10 seconds. So yeah, the top 8 is running away with this a bit. Shaz getting a 3-second time penalty. Not the first one to get a 3-second, but the first one from the top 10 to get a penalty. Struggling, I guess, with the Inters. Rocky's right behind him, but as well in front, right in front for the race lead. Pimarada is right behind McCluskey, and as well Ollie X is right behind Pimarada. So there could be something. There could be something. Rain has stopped, so the track is going to be drying in this part of the race. At the moment, nothing that these two can do to overtake either Pimarada on Lassie or Ollie X on Pimarada. Rocky lost a bit of time through the third sector on Shaz for whatever reason. Behind, no real overtakes. Maybe Messi on Hudson. Maybe? No? No. Too far back, unless he's going to send an absolute diabolical one, but he doesn't. So, no, yeah, no overtakes. Josh the Bear, 3-second time penalty. He's gaining on the cars in front that he was a couple of seconds back after being spun now by Niklas. He's gonna, the thing has reset, and is he gonna retire? Because that was, he might. I don't think that's AI driving. No, that's definitely not AI. But you get the points. Contact between the two. Renner has got into the pits. Now Pimarada goes into the pits. The first one from the top runners to go onto the dries. Is that going to be Hartz? Yes, it is Hartz. So he's going from this part of the race, from lap 12 all the way to the end, which is possible. It is possible, but it is going to be a bit tricky with the tire wear. Of course, at this point, the tire wear is going to be almost none at this exact moment. But yeah, let's see if this is going to actually work for Pimarada. He might as well try to do it, although to be fair, yeah, let's see. I mean, Brothers and Dragon have pitted, but those two were on the wet, so they sort of had to pit. DRS not enabled, not that I saw that it was enabled. So, yeah, let's see. When will they pit? The tire life for those hearts is 20 laps. So, it is possible to make it from this point on. And as well, McCluskey and Ollie X go into the pits. McCluskey ruins his chances of a win. Just like that, a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits for McCluskey. He's thrown the race into the bin. And that's his race done. Pimarada, is he gonna be first after these pit stops? I think he is. He is easily in front. Easily in front. Over a second already. Almost 2 seconds. In front of McCluskey. And as well, McCluskey has a penalty. 10-second penalty added to his race time. Ruins his race winning chances completely. A classic Ferrari. Classic. El Classique, honestly, at this point. Yeah, Marcos stayed out as there was that double stack between McCluskey and himself. Mystic, I'm probably the same as well with Messi pitting. So those two drivers are the only ones on the Inters. But yeah, yeah, my classy, you had it, you had it. You had the pace and all that. Now you just threw it away. Now let's see Marco doesn't do the same mistake. He doesn't. But, my classy, you threw it in the bin. Threw the race in the bin. And now he's just gonna have to pray that, I don't know, whatever happens, that's... I don't know. Something is gonna happen, but so far, he's not even gaining on Pimerada. He's not even gaining on Pimerada. Now he has a DRS because of Z1. But other than that, I mean, he's not gaining. Marco comes out behind Shaz and Rocky. So, yeah, position loss for him, but that was just being compromised by the double stack. Shaz got a bit lucky that Pimerada pitted a lap earlier than McCloskey, Ollie X, basically on lap at the end of lap 11, whilst most of the others have pitted on at the end of lap 12. Mystic as well in the pits, rejoins in P16, so as well his race is a bit compromised. But yeah, now pretty much it is, unless McCluskey gets that 10-second off post-race removals somehow, or I don't know, there's gonna be a safety car and gets the 10-second off, then I don't see him challenging for the win any sort of way, unless there's another scenario where Pimerada is gonna, let's say that McCluskey catches up to Pimerada, then with Ollie X, and then somehow the two collide, Ollie X in front of McCluskey. So now Ollie X would catch up to Pimerada, the two would collide, and somehow they would bring with them Roggy and Shaz, somehow. I don't know how, but somehow. So that's the only sort of way. As Sander overtakes Steps to go up to P7, a bit wide into Tamburello, but it's fine. Yellows, though, that is a Williams. That is Mystic. Yeah, that is Mystic. Does he have damage? Doesn't seem to have. So, yeah, mistake by the Williams. Drops down behind Josh the Bear, who has some company at least for now. But yeah, the way that this race is going, it should be just easy drive to the finish for all of these drivers, as the Hards will make it to the finish. Ollie X has the DRS on Pimerada, but he did use a lot of his ERS to do that. McCluskey now overtakes Ollie X, even though they have the same amount of ERS, but it seems like the DRS is still powerful around Emilia. So they just gained. Now Ollie X and McCluskey, it almost looked like they were gonna fight. Thankfully not. For the thing that, you know, they are fighting into Tossa. Ollie X has sent it down inside. This is not what you want if you want to, well, if you want to get the DRS on Pimerada. And Ollie X just needs to be patient. 16 laps to go. Second half of the race still to go. So yeah, just needs to be patient. Behind, nothing much happening. I mean, no one is in the DRS. No one is in the DRS straight yet. And now, let's see, McCluskey, can he overtake Pimerada? Pimerada has a bit more ERS, rather 3 seconds. Pimerada is using ERS though, a lot of it. So now they're equal in terms of ERS. And McCluskey did catch up to Pimerada, but not close enough to go for a move. Far from it. Pimerada saving a bit of that battery. As you can see, the red light flashing. Probably the same with McCluskey. Just trying to save a bit of that ERS through this twist. these twisty sections that you can't really overtake. But of course, still trying to keep the gap behind or in front, so that you can then defend or attack, depending if you are Pimerada or McCluskey. Josh the Bear, another penalty, I believe. Yes, another penalty. As well, Nicholas got himself a penalty. We'll see a bit of these penalties in this race. It's not going to be as bad as in F124, as on F124 it was really bad. Nicholas goes into the wall and he spins again. Does he have damage? No, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like that he has damage, at least to the front wing. Kriplak's 3 seconds. Let's go back to the top 3 again. As Pimerada doesn't have the DRS. Brothers retires himself, and that is a VSC deployed, as Brothers has crashed out on the exit out of Aqua Minerale. Let's see from Hudson and Messi. Well, there he was. He's not there anymore. Marshall's very quick with that job. But yeah, VSC deployed. Unfortunately, no full course, full safety car. That would have been at least a bit entertaining. I don't know about McCluskey. I mean, McCluskey then would be able to get that penalty off. He would pit and then get the penalty off. So that would benefit him in a way. But with the VSC, so far, could look like that Pimerada is gonna get himself a DRS unless the lapped car is slowing down a lot, and he won't get it as the VSC has ended. And yeah, the lapped car of course needs to move out of the way so it doesn't get any sort of DRS. McCluskey gets the DRS from the lapped car, but he would anyways get the DRS from Pimerada. The gap rises to almost a second, so now this straight is just only to catch up to Pimerada on the straight, to then be not 9/10 back, but like 3/10 back at least, going into that Tamburello, and he is those 3/10 back. Rocky is somewhat trying to catch up to the top 3, but it is bit tricky without the DRS. And meanwhile, behind Sander again overtakes Steps for P7. Sander's having a great race, even though he's in a Red Bull and he shouldn't be there with Steps, Jake, and Kriplak, who are in the worst machinery. He's still doing a good job compared to what he did in qualifying, which was P13, wasn't it? Yeah, P13. So still doing good. Kriplak as well, P10. So good for him. Marcos starting 3rd is in 6th, unfortunately, due to the double stack. Rocky has the DRS on Oli X, so he has managed to catch up. He doesn't have that much ERS now, but he at least has the DRS to keep up with the cars in front. McCluskey is a lot closer to Pimerada. Pimerada, of course, doesn't want to give this position away, so uses a bit of ERS. McCluskey as well used a bit of that ERS, but not close enough to go for a gap. Oli X right behind McCluskey. We could maybe see McCluskey and Oli X fighting. Meanwhile, behind Marco and Shaz Fault for P5. And with that, I think there was a bit of aggressive trying to overtake Shaz and Marco. Shaz. Marco trying to overtake Shaz. Oli X has overtaken McCluskey through Tossa, but in the meantime, while that was happening, yes, there was the fight between Marco and Shaz, but I'm assuming, well, they have completely lost the DRS. They are 2 seconds away from Rocky. They had the DRS, but I don't know, maybe a mistake by Shaz that's tried to allow Marco to get in front of Shaz, but or either it was a very aggressive overtake by Marco and then he had to give the position back, and then yeah, shit happened. They're out of the DRS. Oli X has the DRS, even though he was 1 second back a bit. Now he's back in that DRS, And now Oli X is catching up to, of course, Pimeralda, but not close enough to overtake, of course. Ruggy, the same thing. He's not really closing to McCluskey or Oli X because both of them have the DRSs, so he just has to do this by pure pace and hope that they're gonna fight soon a bit. Oli X going a bit wide, McCluskey trying to sneak up the inside of Tossa. They're going side by side up the hill into Piratella, but McCluskey pulls out of that and stays in third for now. Rocky catches up to the top 3 a bit more, which is good. Rocky a bit lagging, and he gets a 3-second time penalty, which right now, realistically, leaves Pimeralda and Oli X the only ones to be able to fight for the race win, because McCluskey has a 10-second penalty. Rocky just got himself a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, Marco and Shaz as well have caught up to the DRS of Rocky. So Marco is technically in there, but he still needs to overtake Rocky and McCluskey to be able to actually go for the move, or trying to fight for P1. At the moment, he had the DRS, I think. He might have not had it because the gap is 1.3 seconds now. But you get the point. Like, at the moment, he'll be finishing P3 because Rocky and McCluskey have penalties. But if he wants to fight for the win, he needs to first catch up to Rocky's DRS, and then just try and overtake Rocky and McCluskey, and then Oli X and Pimeralda, as Oli X and McCluskey are so close between to the cars in front, or to their car in front, which for McCluskey is Oli X, and Oli X Pimeralda. The gap is 4.5 tenths. Pimeralda doesn't really have that much ERS. He has 44% of ERS. I think he's just gonna have to, this lap, maybe let this one lap go. Although to be through the Rebatzes, he's fine through Rebatzes. The gap rises to 6 tenths. Pimeralda is using that ERS a lot. He's using all of his ERS, but Oli X still has the ERS, and he has a massive overspeed on Pimeralda. Around the outside, side by side, they go into Tamburello. Beautiful wheel-to-wheel battle. A bit, maybe tiny bit of contact there was. Oli X now tries to go up the inside of Villeneuve, almost 3 wide, as McCluskey was trying to go there. But Oli X very much on the inside, like almost right next to the grass, was unable to overtake Pimeralda. Pimeralda on the outside had the run. In the meantime, Marco overtakes Ruggy just before Piratella, as because of all the fighting, Marco caught up very nicely. And so, with Ruggy as well being stuck behind McCluskey, nowhere to go, Marco just said, yeah, I might just take your place and be P4 now. Yellow's in Sector 2, that is Renner's spawn. Messi goes into the pits again, no clue why. Mystic as well has binned it on the exit out of the Revatzes. Goes into the pits, probably retiring. But okay, the top 6 is back in the... First of all, why is he in the pits? The tires are gonna make it. Second of all... yeah. Do I need to say more? I don't. I don't need to say more. What the... why do you go even on the softs at this point? Just go... no, but like, you can make it. The tire life is 20 laps. Unless they are really beating the shit out of those tires, they should make it. I have the strategies and all, not made by me. I bought those. They weren't that expensive, but McCluskey, he served the 10-second penalty, And he still has a 10-second penalty because he fucking sped again. I mean, you don't really have to... I mean, you don't have to that hard. You don't have to push that hard. I mean, once you're in the DRS, you can just... Although, to be fair, then the dirt here, then, to be fair. But okay. I mean, still. You should make it. Or just risk it at least. Or at least not get another 10-second penalty, you know? For speeding in the pits, like... That's the bare minimum. At least do not get the 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits again. And now... He's not even gonna get P6 at this point if Dragon is gonna go until the end of the race. Because those softs... If you were talking about tire wear too high, then the softs are as bad. Cause, like... Or they aren't good either way. Like, they are still really bad. Let me just check, because I swear to God those softs have like 7 lap tire life. Okay, they have 10. But ideal tire life is 2 to 3 laps. So then after that, those softs are going to be absolutely nowhere. So, I mean, compared to those hards, they will be. But, you know, the drop-off is just going to be absolutely massive. As in front, Pimerada is trying to re-overtake Ollie X. And he does it around the outside. Ollie X is trying to have a run, but Pimerada blocks that by just driving. Not that he moved or anything, just by driving. And so Pimerada back in the race lead, with Marco was getting overtaken by Ruggie, although at least Ruggie was very close behind Marco. McCluskey, of course, fastest lap, 1:15.450. Anything else behind? Steps, no, Sander maybe overtaking Hudson. He's using a lot of that ERS. And I almost binned it. Almost binned it. He almost binned it on the straight, trying to overtake Hudson. Probably, well, he wanted to go around the outside, but then he had to go on the inside, and then with the DRS open still, he binned it. And now he's trying to go up the inside of Hudson. And beautiful overtake by Sander. Of course, he has way better tires. And now Steps is going to be a bit stuck behind the Haas. Meanwhile, in front, Ollie X re-overtakes Pimerada, and Marco as well overtakes Pimerada. So Marco is up into P2. And it is going to be, well, mainly between Ollie X, Marco, and Pimerada for the rest of the race. One has 15 lap old hards. The other has, the one who's leading has 14 lap old hards. But the one who is in P2 has 13 lap old hards. So, you know, there could be something. Let's see, Steps is probably going to easily overtake Hudson. Hudson might have the DRS still, yes he has, but Hudson has absolutely no ERS whatsoever. Although it seems like that Hudson is running a bit lower wings and just unable to overtake. Jake runs into the back of Steps, hopefully he doesn't have damage from that. But Steps is still behind Hudson. He's a bit stuck there, and a bit of a push to pass there by Steps, and he overtakes him. Around outside, does he? No, he almost lets Jake through. They're going through 3 wide on the exits. Yellows, that's a Mystic. But let's go back to the front as Marco overtakes Ollie X on the straight, and that's it. Let's go back here. Hudson is still in front of both Jake and Steps, but Steps just lost a position to Jake. Jake gets a 3-second time penalty. This is absolutely beautiful for Sander, because, well, of course he's not catching McCluskey. McCluskey is going to get an easy overtake on Kriplax, but he's just pulling away a gap on Hudson, and, well, mainly Jake and Steps. Those are those were his main rivals. Now they are not, unless he decides to bin it, of course. So Jake should have an easy overtake on Hudson, although Hudson seems to have very low wings compared to the others, but now gets an easy overtake. Steps, has a run as well. Could he go for an overtake on Jake? No, he doesn't. And so, yeah, both of them overtake Hudson, but they're already 3 seconds back from Sander. Of course, both of them have so 3-second time penalties, so they wouldn't even be able to really overtake him at really any point. Marco seems to have great pace here in Imola. Seems to have a great race pace at the moment. He's almost pulled out the gap for Oli X to not have the DRS, but Oli X managed to be back in the DRS. Rocky didn't really seem to have the DRS, lost a bit on the exit out of Tamburello. So he might not be able to be in the DRS. The three in front are pushing like crazy, so Rocky has to just push a bit more on those tires. McCluskey easily overtakes Dragon. Now the question is, will Dragon be able to hang around behind McCluskey? It's 4 laps to go. 4 laps to go, so McCluskey would need like 2.2 seconds, 2.3 seconds a lap gaining on Dragon, which, you know, the softs are way past their best life. Shaz gets it another 3 seconds, so he won't be able to even fight with Rocky even for P4. But yeah, 2.3 seconds, so, you know, it is possible for Lassie to get away from Dragon, but those softs are way past their best life. The same with Hearts though. So, you know, there's that possibility. Marco still in the lead. Lap 30 out of 32. He needs to save that ERS. He needs to save that ERS. Oli X is saving. Oli X is saving. He has 30% of the ERS. Another yellows. Another Williams spinning. Is that Mystic? No, that's Messi spinning. Yeah, the Williamses are having an absolutely brilliant weekend. Brilliant Saturday. Or I don't know, if you're in Japan, then maybe even Sunday at this point. If you're in Hawaii, then you would already have already Saturday, as Renner and Mystic are fighting for P15. Of course, Renner's 17 lap old hard. Aha. Okay. Sure. Anyways, Marco is gonna get the DRS because of the one idiot. Or does he not? No, he doesn't actually. He actually didn't. Still an idiot. So penultimate lap. Marco still no ERS. Still no. Jesus fucking Christ. Fucking karma. Holy shit, what fucking karma that was. He fucking missed him. Holy fucking hell, that was karma and a half. Yeah, Pimerada out of the DRS. At the moment, out of the DRS zone on Oli X. That was pure karma. That was pure karma for Renner. I don't know what happened between Mystic and Renner before, but from what I saw, I mean, into Varanta, there was a bit of contact, and then Renner just decided to plow into the side of Mystic, and then, yeah, Tamburello said it himself. I would do a reference to one driver, but I'm not gonna do it because I'm not gonna disrespect it. Final lap, there's open for Oli X. Both are using all the ERS. Marco runs out of the ERS. Oli X, because he has the ERS, he gets a massive overrun on Marco. And Marco, because of his no ERS saving, Oli X gets that race lead back to himself. Okay, okay. If that's you, Renner, then shut the fuck up. You do not take out another driver. like that. Unless, I don't know, he took you out, but I didn't even see it, any of that. Still, shut the fuck up. Yeah, Ollie X gets the race lead back from Marco because Marco did not ERS save at all during that, well, the previous lap. And so Ollie X could be our first race winner, the reigning world champion, or BP world champion. I think a two-time champion, maybe. I don't know. I didn't get my facts right. Anyways, Ollie X out of the final corner. Marco cannot do anything about it. Ollie X wins round 1 here in Imola. Ollie X wins the season opener. Marco could have won it, but because of his no ERS saving, or barely any ERS saving, running out of ERS, Ollie X had a beautiful run on Marco and got that win. Pimarada P3, Rocky P4, Shaz P5, Dragon is gonna get P10, Lussie is gonna isn't gonna get P7, okay, no, he's gonna get P7, Criplax has 9 seconds of penalty, so McCluskey just about gets P7, Criplax P8, Sander P9, Jake is gonna round off the top 10, and then it is Steps, Hudson, Josh, Messi, and Mystic. Then the retirements are Brothers, Niklas, Z1, and Window, who retired at the beginning of the race. But yeah, like I said, you can make those hard 20 laps. You can make those hard 20 laps. It just, you know, maybe the tie saving thing. But McCluskey had the pace. Ruined it both times by, well, one, getting a 10-second penalty in the first pit, then pitting a second time, and then getting another penalty. So, yeah. That was... Yeah. Yeah. Ollie X wins the season opener, the reigning world champion. Good. That is a good start to defend the title from last season. Marco P2, Pimarada P3, Rocky P4, Shaz P5, Dragon P6, McCluskey P7, Criplax P8, Sander P9, and Jake P10. Mercedes are going to take the lead in the constructors as they get P1 and P6. Probably then second, 18 plus 6 plus 7. 18 plus 7. 26, 27. No, not 27, 25. And then P3, P5, 15, 10. So Ferrari are going to be second, McLaren third, Red Bull probably fourth. Yeah, fourth, because fourth and P4, and then, yeah, fourth, and then, yeah, then Sander got some scraps. The P8, yeah, P8. So yeah, that was Imola. Yeah, next week is gonna be Barcelona. Might not be there because of work. Surprise, surprise. I mean, yeah, work, because I will be back at home at my 10, which is gonna be UK 8, and then like I wanna get sleep. I wanna get sleep, so yeah. Let's see, maybe somewhere down the line in, I don't know, Melbourne. Could it be one? Then, well, the rest of the calendar. I mean, then rest seem it really depends how my work is gonna go. Then maybe back in Hungary I could be back. I could be, depends how the work is gonna be then, because that's gonna be a different work, different company, all that. So yeah, like I said, that was Imola. Pretty good race that we had, and yeah, see you next week. Probably not with me, probably with someone else, but yeah, see you next week for